But you being up and around, it's good for you. It's good for your body. You keep using it.
Yeah, I recently stumbled across this quote that says, "Your health is your wealth."
Hey, there it's true. There's true.
Since I read that, I really been trying to take care of myself.
Eat good food, wholesome food, man. I'm telling you, that was my whole thing about my kids. I had to make sure that they had good, wholesome food because I think that's part of why we see so many sick kids nowadays. Asthma, allergies, kids, really
System weak, like
all sorts of problems. They can't eat peanut butter. What the fuck?
man.
Never heard of that shit when I was a kid.
That's my dream car right there. The Chrysler 300, that black car.
Oh, you.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't ever own an internal combustion engine car ever. I've been boycotting them for. This is my first car I've ever owned, man. I mean,
Really?
my first new car I've ever owned. First
like
new
you bought?
that I bought. First new car I ever bought. I'm 68 years old. This is just 1 month old. My previous car, it's been 20 years since I've owned a previous car, and that was a Mercedes diesel that I could burn biodiesel in. I didn't have to, because I think burning petroleum at this point in our societal evolution is evil. It's wrong. It's stealing from our great-grandchildren. And I think stealing from your kids is like the worst thing you can fucking do.
It really is, bro.
I mean, you're stealing from your kids? Are you kidding me? It's supposed to go the other way around.
I ain't never look at it like that.
But I know they don't want you to look at it that way. Because why? Because the oil barons are in control. They control the media, and they want you as customers, and they want you to keep on buying their shit. And that's why you hear so much anti-EV stuff. Why they're so down on Musk. It's because it's what I call capital inertia. They've already got all that money invested. They're making that much money, and so they can control the.
Yeah, that is true. And money does make the world go round. So.
Yeah, but and that's what we all have to realize. And if we want the world to change, we got to watch where we're putting our dollars. And every dollar you put into petroleum is feeding the oil barons who are trying to control us. That's why I bought an EV.
I'm pretty convincing, man.
You're a young man. Think about it. I stopped eating meat because I read a book called Diet for a Small Planet.
In 2 miles, turn left on Reynolds Drive.
This is a book that was written in the 70s, which is ancient now, right? Diet for a Small Planet talks about the fact that for every pound of meat that you get, they fed that animal 8 pounds of vegetable protein that you could have eaten.
Oh, damn.
So that's a waste of food. And on top of that, the way they do it, it's toxic because when you put all those animals together, they got to feed them with all sorts of antibiotics, and then all that shit and piss and blood and everything all comes out in the same place, polluting the place instead of being spread out all over the land and making fertilizer. It becomes pollution. It's just, if you're gonna eat meat, I like I said, I'm a ecological, environmental, plant-based. I'm not an ethical. I recognize that animals get eaten, man. You know, it's part of nature. If you're gonna eat animals, you either should be hunting it yourself, or know somebody that's hunting it.
At least know where it's coming from.
I know where it's coming from. And out in this part of the world, you can know where it's coming from. You can know the farmer. You can know the butcher. You can know that. You're gonna pay more. That's the truth.
That's the fuck up right here.
You're gonna pay more. Now, the only power you got is with your money. Now, you want to know more, you want to be healthier, then you're gonna pay more. You want cheap, you want to be sick, you can go to McDonald's.
That is true. That's why it's fast food.
Because you realize they're chopping down the fucking Amazon so that they can raise more cattle so you can have fast, cheap food?
I ain't checked that out.
Cattle raising is the biggest contributor to deforestation in the rainforest. Raising cattle. And And that's another thing they don't want you to know, because then you might not feel so good about eating that shit. I worked for 20 years in advertising, so I got a good feeling for how this type of stuff gets manipulated. Well, I hope you enjoyed your ride and your little brain twisting I did for you.
You got a little bit more to go, man.
It's a wonderful world, man, and there's a whole bunch to, that we each have a responsibility for if we're willing to step up for it.
Then drop off Justin.
You smoke pot?
Of course. I mean, I'm sorry.
Nah,
Turn left on Red Oak Drive.
Alright, so how would you compare nowadays weed to
Turn
what
left
from
on
back
Red
then?
Oak Drive. Then turn left on Ben's Church
Oh, there's no
Boulevard.
doubt about it that there's weed available nowadays. When I first started smoking weed, Sensimilla did not exist.
Damn. What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Everything had seeds.
Whoa.
Everything had seeds.
Dang.
Wasn't until the 80s that Mexican farmers started realizing that
Yeah,
they
that was a Mexican brick weed, right?
well, before that was always Mexican brickweed, but then they started coming up with the Sensimilla, with and that came in egg boxes rather than bricks.
Wow.
It was more loosely packed, so that the buds would be preserved a little bit more. And they still had seeds, but nowhere near like And that was the start. And that's when I was in it pretty good then. I was selling hundreds of pounds. I was part of a trip that was bringing herb up from Mexico. Yeah, I plugged in until they put me in prison.
Damn. How much time you have?
8-year sentence, 5 years in and 3 years special parole, though I only served 10 months actually in because of a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo that got me out a little early. But yeah, 8-year sentence. For 8 years I was pissing in a bottle.
Damn.
Still smoking pot though. I convinced the guy that was assigned to taking my piss test that he didn't want to put me away. I'm a nice guy. I was a single parent at the time with 3 kids. My ex had gone over the wire. I said, you can put me away. I smoke pot. You can put me away. You have that power. But you're going to put my kids in foster care. You're going to cost the government a whole bunch of fucking money. And you know I'm a good guy. So, but it's up to you because I'm not going to stop smoking pot. He said, well, do you do cocaine? I said, no, I don't have any problem with cocaine. I don't do cocaine. He says, well, I'm going to be testing you for cocaine for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Damn. That is what's up.
So for 7 years, I did piss tests for cocaine. Though I never, ever had any offense with cocaine.
Damn, never even touched the book of sugar.
Right. So I had, but,
Wow. That's not what they was tracking you on. Wow. That's the universe working in your favor.
yeah. I ended up getting this drug counselor MDMA because he had heard about it was good for psychology, and he couldn't get anywhere, and I had all sorts of fucking connections. So I was copping psychedelics from my drug counselor. And he was piss testing me for cocaine, and he was honest. He told me, "You come dirty for cocaine, and I will send you away."
I understand.
And I said, "That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can play by those rules. You give me those rules, I will play by those rules." And that's what we did for 7 years.
See, I sell pot here and there, but I'm no kingpin. I'm not going to pick up pounds. I move zips, little ounces here and there. So it's like, I'm not saying I'm watching the weed change, but like in the past couple of months, not really see like an increase in the quality of weed.
Well, that's because things are going legal and the competition is getting hard.
That's why I was asking. So how would you compare the weed from back then?
Well, like I said, back then when I started, it was seeds. You know, there wasn't any. So, yeah, I mean, and now, I mean, there's things about the market right now that I really don't like.
What you mean?
Well, like the Delta 8 shit and all that kind of stuff that to try and get around the legality stuff. I don't trust a lot of edibles. The vape stuff, I don't trust at all. For one, you got all you're tying all this plastic and shit, and you know, and electronic garbage.
Coat your lungs in that shit.
And you're and with this stuff and propylene glycol, really? That's antifreeze. You're fucking breathing antifreeze to make big little balls of smoke or all that kind of stuff. I have trouble with.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you.
I'm a purist in that sense. I smoke flower. Now rosins and you know and dabs and stuff like that, I can understand how they got some value.
So you're fine with the extracts,
especially the cold pressed.
Oh,
you know,
my goodness!
I could see that. That's you know you're smoking sap. That's cool.
I got a homeboy that's showing me how to make bubble hash, and it's like the process. I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's very delicate. You feel me?
I have problems with anything that uses petroleum distillates like butane, that sort of shit. Because again, those are precious resources that you're using, you know.
But it extracts it better.
Yeah, great. But it also makes better plastic. You know, it's you're wasting. You know, you're stealing from the grandkids again. To use it as an extract, there's other extracts you can use. So I have trouble with that kind of stuff.
In a quarter mile, turn left on
So
Main Road.
I'm an OG purist, man. You ever hear the name Jack Herer?
I have not. I just researched Jack Herer.
Jack Herer. He wrote the book called Emperor Wears No Clothes. There's actually a pot called Jack Herer.
Oh wow, is it any good?
Turn left
Yeah.
on Ren Road, then turn right.
It's a sativa blend. I'm going in here.
Yes, sir. You're gonna make this first right. I like hybrid.
It's a shame that more people don't know Jack, because Jack is one of the people that is responsible for marijuana being legal.
Wow.
Totally responsible for marijuana being
Drop off
legal.
Justin.
He's the one that started the hemp movement.
Oh. Do some research.
Herer.
All right.
Take it easy, buddy.
You too, man.
Good, a good feed in your brain. Same to you. Bye. What am I doing now? Where the fuck am I?